Good morning, coffee moaners. Good morning, coffee moaning. Welcome to Friday, the 6th of March. Here she is.
Good morning.
Hello, Miss Sawalha. How are you?
Good morning. I'm going to be here for every coffee moaning
Yay!
now for 7 weeks because
Wow.
after today, Loose Women takes a 7-week break.
Wow.
So we'll be here every day, which
Are
I'm
you
sure
going
is
to
very annoying
interrupt?
for you.
I was going to say, we've already kind of disrupted my ability to kind of garner clips. But she's posted a fantastic post on Instagram this morning. Go over to Nadia's Instagram.
I don't know.
Check it out. Don't go now, because
No,
that would be
stay
stupid. Welcome to everyone. Welcome if you're new to the channel. If you're listening on podcast, believe it or not, we're also over on YouTube, so you can watch us. We show lots of clips. We've got a lot of clips. We've got a lot of stories. We can't always get everything we're going to talk about in the title, because YouTube doesn't allow you to put that in. But we are going to be talking about an awful lot. I just want to talk about, firstly, I'll just run through the running order and then we'll push on. Anti-Iran propaganda. We're
foaming.
I just find the way in which people are just slowly just accepting and just leaning into the so-called received wisdom that it all makes sense, that Iran's evil. We've got some clips that are going to humanize the Iranians. My God, do they not breathe? Do they not eat? Do they not bleed? Yes. We're also going to look at the fact that Trump's regime, as I always call it, keeps pointing the finger at radical Islam. We have radical fundamentalist Christians surrounding Trump in the White House. And we're going to look at Shabana Mahmood.
Though it sickens us all, we've got to look at Shabana Mahmood.
And there's a couple of things we want to talk about with this. We want to talk about Labour's reform-style asylum policy suggestions. And I also want to talk about Shabana Mahmood's unforgivable posts on Instagram. I ended up running rogue underneath her posts, just wanting to ask questions of her complete handbrake turn in her humanity and activism, and the way in which she's portraying the leader of the Green Party in her posts.
And we're going to read some of Zach Palansky's letter to her, which is quite brilliant.
Blisteringly brilliant without needing to try. I've got a bit of FOMO this morning.
Why?
I think they were all at Union Chapel last night for the Guilty Feminist, and Zach was up there, and I love the Union Chapel, and I just loved it. I wish we were.
And it's a huge seater.
It's a big seater.
We didn't know about it.
It's a big seat.
900.
So Nads, where are you at on Iran?
Oh, don't start with me.
Come on.
No.
Come on with you.
I am just like you, Mark. It's the frustration of how everything has been twisted around. Now, what we're hearing on mainstream media is the Iran attacks. We've gone so far away from the fact that they were attacked the day after they had agreed to what Trump was asking of them. Let's stay with that, right?
Thank you.
The fact that we have that the Western media has just glossed over the fact that on the first day a school was bombed and 180 odd little girls, primary school age, were torn to shreds.
And interestingly,
right?
just on
and we don't talk. And be careful, because this is what happened with Palestine, right? Do you remember the first time a hospital was hit, and they said that it was Hamas that had hit it, and then the second hospital, third hospital, fourth hospital, fifth hospital, sixth hospital, seventh hospital, eighth hospital, until we'd seen so many hospitals. We'd seen so many babies wrapped in shrouds. We see so much of it. It was just all overwhelming for people. This is what's going to happen. This is what's happening now again.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's really important what you say. I think what these really demonic regimes do, and I'm talking about Israel and America here, is they normalize what should be unnormalizable, which is no amount of investigation yet is being able to prove that it was anyone other than the US that struck this school in Iran. And what we have in Iran, which Israel is not going to like this. Israel is not going to like this, is that in Iran, they don't have complete control of the footage coming out or the coverage. I mean, they're certainly doing something about it. They've already taken out lots of their media. They're already hitting more hospitals. 2 other schools were hit yesterday in Iran. So they are going for civilian infrastructure. And if I hear a woman rang into the radio this morning on LBC saying, I mean, they're attacking the British. They're attacking hotels. Listen, calm your knickers down right now. Iran have said all along they are not attacking Gulf states. They're attacking American assets, because let's not beat around the bush. American bases around the world are micro Americas. These are little bits of America. And what happens is when they fire a missile, any death is regrettable, of course. But this idea that Iran is somehow targeting the West.
Are any deaths regrettable?
Well, apart from if they're Iranian
or is it
if they're
just white
Palestinian.
people that it's regrettable? The numbers can stack up to thousands upon thousands upon thousands into millions. I mean, I'm still reeling from the 80,000 that were displaced in Lebanon 2 days ago that nobody's talking about.
Yeah, and the other thing is Keir Starmer yesterday was giving us a little update on how ineffective he is, and he said what we are really pushing for is a negotiated agreement. Now, the problem with the word negotiate is that whenever Iran negotiates, America kills them. Yeah, I mean. How do you get anyone to a negotiating
table? Look at Doha, you know, that's forgotten about. That's not even, the connections aren't even made. That when in Doha, how long ago was that? 5-6 months ago, peace talks. And they blew up the people having the peace talks. So negotiations now we don't have any respect for international law for any countries across the world. You give it, Jesus Christ, they want to negotiate with us, run to the bomb shelters.
Now, we also have to give a shout out, have to give not a shout out, but we have to put some, spotlight on Lebanon, Beirut, under its inordinate barrage from Israel. Israel launching huge strikes against South Beirut after massive evacuation order. They asked essentially a population of 500,000 to move.
Think about that. Think about that. What's the equivalent? What's London? How many people are there? I'm trying to think of like
9 million.
9 million. Okay.
Probably be like telling everyone in Croydon.
Yeah. So just go.
Just move.
Right. Just go. Can you imagine that? Where do we go? Look at this.
These are traffic
Look at this
jams
carnage across the world.
Israel told residents of Beirut, save your lives and evacuate your homes immediately. No. Fuck off.
Well, you know what happens if you say no, fuck off? They just drop the bomb anyway.
I mean,
in Palestine,
they
give them 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes, and then they bomb them.
I mean, no one seems to be saying or questioning, and we're talking about journalists here, we're talking about our completely complicit government, we're talking about reform, the Tories. No one is having to answer this question. What gives America or Israel the right to do any of this?
Just leave. To
do any of this?
What is the right? Where is the right for that? And as I said on my Instagram post this morning, anyone worried about the amount of refugees that we're going to have? Yeah? Like anybody worried about that?
If they're white, it doesn't matter. If they're from Ukraine, it's fine.
Yeah, but then none of them are white. That's the problem. That's what I'm saying, Mark.
Yeah.
It's going to be millions.
What do you mean? Going to be lots of brown people? What, radical Muslims?
Radical Muslims that are coming here
on our beach?
Just to disrespect our way of life.
No.
That's the only reason they're coming here, to disrespect our way of life.
Well, hang on a minute. I feel we need to lay hands on each other. Let's just quickly hang on. Breaking news in the Oval Office.
Before your presence today, lifting up the arms of our president. We pray for your continued blessing and favor to rest upon him. We pray for wisdom from heaven to flood his heart, his mind, and Lord, you will guide him in these challenging times that we're facing today. I pray for your grace and your protection over him. I pray for your grace and protection over our troops and all of our men and women serving in our armed forces. And Father, we just pray you'll continue to give our president the strength that he needs to lead our great nation as we come back to one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We pray your heavenly blessing upon him in Jesus' name.
This guy on the end. I like to look at all of them individually. What do you think of that? I just want to read out a few. What do you think of that? How does that leave you feeling? Because to me, I think cult. What do you think?
Well, whilst your comments are coming in, all I was thinking was...
And fundamentalism.
This man is accused by some of raping children.
Allegations.
That was the thought that was coming through my mind as the FBI have published various...
He denies all allegations. Documents. In fact, he's now cleared. That's what he says.
No, he's absolved. It's a big word.
Absolved.
I love that word, absolved. I've been absolved. I don't even know what it means.
It's like the same way that he loves the word groceries.
Yeah. No, nobody does absolution like me.
Yesterday I was asked how the war is going out of 10.
Yeah.
I said 50.
People are saying
said
performative. Fucking hell.
Well, I mean him. I mean Trump. Can you imagine he's thinking about everything other than that prayer?
Can you imagine the Pope doing this? I just want to, off the back of that, I found this quite late. I just wanted to, Nadia, you'll
imagine if that was a group of Muslims.
People
would be running, crying, screaming, terrified that they were praying.
Absolutely. Well, listen to this woman. This
woman.
Performative shit I've ever seen. I don't know what these people are doing. And I was raised Southern Baptist. I don't know if they are trying to pray to try to help this man and invoke in Jesus' name. And if so, that's rude. Don't do that to Jesus. Or if this is some kind of weird exorcism, and if that's the case, it makes more sense, but there's not nearly enough of you motherfuckers.
Oh my God, that's brilliant. I thought you were about to show his religious leader, the woman.
No, I am about to show her.
That's great.
That's great,
I love that, Mark. Well done.
His personal religious leader.
Can we watch it again later?
Yeah, we'll watch it. Well, let me just walk you through.
When we need a break.
Mondo Vice has got this carousel piece knocking around, which is a really important and interesting read. Follow Mondo Vice. We need to talk about Christian extremism and how it's dictating US foreign policy.
We do. And please hit the subscribe button, because that helps these videos get out to more people that know fuck all about all this shit that's going down.
Yeah. And let's not forget, earlier in the week, we were talking about the fact that numerous American servicemen and women were filing complaints against the army, American army.
8 battalions.
Yeah, because basically various senior in command chiefs were saying that this war in Iran is basically a biblical war. It should be bringing about Armageddon and all this bollocks.
Didn't he say didn't one of them say Trump was the second Jesus?
Yeah, second Jesus. So you've got Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth has turned the Pentagon into something resembling a church.
As I've had it, women follow I've had it on YouTube say, and what is it they say? An untreated alcoholic.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. He doesn't touch a drop.
Pete Hegseth says he's publicly called for a crusade against Islam, as in the Crusades. Paula White is the woman that, I'm just going to show you a clip of Paula White.
Strike and 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 strike until you have victory. For every enemy that is aligned against you, let there be that we would strike the ground, for you will give us victory, God. I hear a sound of abundance of rain. I hear a sound of victory. I hear a sound of shouting and singing. I hear a sound of victory. I hear a sound of an abundance of rain. I hear a sound of victory. I hear a sound of an abundance of rain. I hear a sound of victory. The Lord says it is done. The Lord says it is done. The Lord says it is done. For I hear victory, 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 victory in the corridors of heaven. In the corridors of heaven, victory, 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 victory. For angels are being released right now. Angels are being dispatched right now. Hamanda aka ata raka teda baka santa ata ambo osa kata. For angels have even been dispatched from Africa right now. Africa right now. Africa right now. From Africa right now. They're coming here. They're coming here. In the name of Jesus. From South America. They're coming here. They're coming here. They're coming here. They're coming here. From Africa. From South America. Angelic forces. Angelic reinforcement. Angelic reinforcement. Angelic reinforcement. Pika hata anda ata. Ora bata rata ande eke. For I hear the sound of victory. 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 I'm
starting to want angels to come for victory. I want them to come from Africa. That is a brainwashing cult, in my opinion.
But they want you to
that's his religious leader. Right from day one in the White House, she was there calling these big prayer meetings, and they're all standing there with their arms
They want
up.
you to think the problem lies everywhere else.
Muslims are the problem.
Muslims
are the problem.
Muslims, radical Islam. I mean, for fuck's sake. For fuck's sake.
I mean, excuse me. It's just...
Oh, my God, what a strange... I wonder what she's done. My God, what a strange woman. Do you think she's like that?
And America's put their lives and the rest of the world's lives in these people's hands.
I mean, if she asked you for brunch, you would be like, no, you know what? I really don't know if I can do it today, actually. So there you go. That you know, so we've got, you know, as they keep calling everyone else, you know, in the world radical Muslims, fundamentalists, we have a bunch of them here. Speaker of the House, likewise, Mike Johnson, publicly called Islam a misguided religion. The US the US ambassador Mike Huckabee to Israel, I mean, he's literally operating as though the Bible is a work of documentary evidence.
Yeah.
It's like
it's incredible.
Yeah, it's a work of
even mad religious Tucker Carlson. Takes umbrage with that.
I mean, even Tucker Carlson recognizes the Bible was written, whereas Huckabee seems to think it's real life. These people are fucking nuts, and of course. They're not just nuts. They've made themselves nuts because they've tried to justify their deep-seated selfishness and desire to get away with anything.
You know the saying, knickers in a twist? Their knickers are so twisted, they literally don't know what's coming and going.
Are you trying to tell me that Mike Huckabee has a wedgie?
He's wedged right up to his tiny little brain.
To his eyeballs. Okay, well, let's go to Greg J. Stoker, who's talking about where the fundamentalism lies.
Here, they hate us for our freedom ever again. What freedom are you referring to exactly? A U.S. Marine veteran shouted that no one wants to fight for Israel, and a sitting U.S. senator broke his arm. That is the perfect encapsulation of U.S. foreign policy. We withdraw from Afghanistan, then Ukraine pops off, half-assed peace talks begin, then Iran goes hot. We will always be at war, and like I said, you have more in common with those drowned Iranian sailors than you will ever have with the transnational pedophilic billionaires who run our government and do not believe in countries or nations states like you do, unless that country is Israel, apparently. I learned this as a 23-year-old battlefield interrogator in the 75th Ranger Regiment, talking to some Haqqani foot soldiers who were the same age as me. Once you realize that you're the same age and very similar to the people you're fighting, the war propaganda disappears rapidly. But many Americans, many of whom are in our government, are violent, religious, death cult extremists who believe that Israel is lighting the signal fire in Iran to bring about Armageddon. My unit engaged Al-Qaeda and ISIS-K, ISIS Khorasan. I've read the Islamic State fatwas that have been purged from the internet and are now classified. So what is the real material difference between people like al-Baghdadi and Mike Johnson or Pete Hegseth? Basically, the U.S. military can kill a lot more people than a non-state actor. What a lot of people living in this country don't realize is that they don't hate us for our freedom. They believe that our government, which includes the Israeli government, is the greatest and largest terrorist organization on earth, and that we are actually the barbarians. This madness begins and ends with us. Best get used to the idea. And by the way, just a side note, losing 3 U.S. fighter jets cancels out all the money Doge was supposed to have saved.
God, how he keeps going, I don't know this guy. Please follow him, Greg J. Stoker. He has all the receipts. He has all the experience. He knows what he's talking about. He's become a pacifist since serving in the American military.
Louise Pritchard, I've seen Muslims chant hate like that, though, aimed at whites. Where and who? Because if you're talking about those who've chanted death to Israel, death to America, what you have to understand is context. If you are a people, a home, a culture, a country, surrounded by imperialist assets, subjugated by sanctions, forever controlled to, you know, and having all of your kind of hope and dreams and lifestyles eroded, like say in Gaza or increasingly now in the West Bank too. It's not about whether saying those words are right or wrong. No one wants death to anyone. But unless you try and understand the conditions in which these things happen and things are said, nothing will ever change. I would argue that what America and all these religious, fanatic Christian fundamentalists are trying to do is convince us of something that just isn't real, of a threat that just doesn't exist.
I mean, like America's been told that Iran was going to hit them with nuclear weapons.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just the most blatant lie. And meanwhile, in America, Medicaid is cut. People are struggling to pay for their groceries, their mortgages, and trillions of dollars are going to be wasted on this.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I just want to
imagine how you would feel if your child went to primary school.
Yeah.
And didn't come back, like those 180 children the other day. Never mind the thousands in Gaza. Imagine how angry you might feel towards those nations that have pulled together and bullied you all together. And of course, let us not forget, we despise the Iranian regime. You know, you know, what they have done, and with the iron fist and the way they have ruled and tortured and imprisoned, we are speaking up for the Iranian people, you know, and I think that the American and the Israeli regime are petrifying. I despise what they do. I despise what America is doing with ICE. People being dragged off the street, thrown into these pits of despair and kept there for months without proper sanitation, food, any legal, you know, valid legal, maybe an occasional note might get smuggled out, support. But would it be our right to just go over to America and just indiscriminately blow people up? No, absolutely no. And why is it any different?
I mean, it might be a very sort of out of fashion and bad sort of opinion to have, but I don't know why. Call me old fashioned, but a country that's responsible for a live stream genocide doesn't feel like the best people to have your back.
The most
allegedly
trustworthy
to have your
believe.
Back. I don't feel like they're the best placed group of people to look out for the welfare of the Iranian population, to be brutally honest with you. When they decimated, murdered and holocausted the Palestinians.
We've got a situation now where America is pretending it's not a war. They're pretending it's not a regime change. And then when asked who was going to be when Trump was asked then who was going to be put in charge, he goes, well, we had a guy, but he got killed. Then we had another guy and he got killed. And now, God, we don't know if we've got anyone left. And apparently he's furious, so Scaramucci says, with Israel for killing the list of people. Is that not a regime change if you've got a list of people that you're thinking of putting in?
And also, I really
have they got to decide?
I really want to push back. Everyone kind of gets, and I'm not saying this is what you're doing, but everyone gets a bit hesitant around being able to say this. This is like the big taboo you're not allowed to say. For huge numbers of Iranians, the regime works.
Not everyone is anti it.
Not everyone is anti it. All we are going to ever be fed are those who are anti it because it suits our narrative. It serves our Zionist mission. It serves our ability to kind of sidle up alongside Israel and America and continue the bombardment. There is no honesty in the news coverage in this country. No honesty, whether it be The Guardian, The Independent, the BBC, at the left, more liberal leaning side of things, to all the BBC, especially proven to be Zionist compromised completely. The Zionist regime wants control of the region. They don't want control of Iran. They want Iran tipped into the same chaos as Lebanon, Syria.
They want full destruction.
They want chaos.
They want to destroy it like they have destroyed Gaza. That's what they want. They want it leveled to the ground.
Let's just listen. This is a very powerful moment from Question Time last night with the independent journalist and Guardian journalist George Monbiot.
Whether we're being dragged into a war with no clear outcomes, we're also being dragged into a war with no clear objectives. We've seen Trump say it's regime change. Oh no, it's not regime change. It's because of the nuclear weapons. Oh, I wiped those out in June. There are no nuclear weapons. Oh, it's because of an imminent threat. No evidence whatsoever of an imminent threat. The real reason for this attack is spectacle. That's what Trump trades in. That's what he loves. He wants to be the center of attention. He wants to be making global headlines. That's his happy place. Yeah. Now, for us to get dragged into that is not only criminal, it's foolish in the utmost degree. Yeah. This war has no basis in international law whatsoever. There are two valid reasons why you can go to war. One is self-defense, and the other is if you've got a United Nations Security Council resolution. This has neither. James Cleverly has learnt nothing from Iraq, has learnt nothing from Afghanistan, has learnt nothing from Libya. What we see here is Donald Trump acting, as he always does, as a global chaos generator. And the further we stand away from that, the better off we will be.
Brilliant. Global chaos generator.
And every general that speaks on this says he's still high from Venezuela.
Yes, hubris. He thinks Venezuela is. But the other thing, just to stress here in terms of Starmer, what has Starmer done? What has Starmer not done? Starmer has tried to do two things. He's tried to placate, pacify, and appeal to the more left wing in his government to show that he can stand up to Trump. but he hasn't stood up to Trump enough because he's basically entering the war defensively and allowing, like the complicit, weak, gimpy type character that he is. But you can use our bases. So he's in the war. We're in the war defensively, and that's going to increase. He's already trotting out the lines of Iran is indiscriminately attacking all of our allies. Well, they're not actually. They're trying to target with very inaccurate weaponry American bases, because America, let's not forget, America preemptively struck Iran because they knew that Israel was going to strike Iran, and so they struck Iran before Iran was likely to strike America. Because Israel was going to strike them. So Netanyahu is the absolute fucking puppet master at the back of all of this, loving it. Everything they want. They don't just want chaos in the Middle East. Israel wants chaos throughout the world. I mean, although he says they're absolutely, George, that, you know, it's Trump is the chaos generator.
So they're the evil twins. They're holding hands and skipping around the playground together in their shorts.
Absolutely.
I'm telling you.
Absolutely.
With bogies hanging down their nose.
Should we have another sort of lighter touch? We have a lightness of touch here. This is a post I saw yesterday of a young man. It's satire, before you wonder, but this is a young man receiving the call to fight on behalf of the government.
What's that? It's kicking off. Need us to sign up and lay our life down for the UK? Yeah, we're happy to do that. Yeah, I'll sign up now. Yeah, I mean, I've got the gear on already. Yeah. You know, I'll definitely lay my life down for Keir Starmer. Yeah, because he's obviously the most universally liked Prime Minister we've ever had. Yeah, popular with everyone. Yeah, no haters, that bloke. So who's on our team then? USA and Israel. Oh, the good guys then. Yeah, I've actually got Trump as my screensaver. But yeah, so just let us know where to sign up. We were just talking about it, actually. We were just saying we're a bit bored, so I put in the lads group chat. I wish World War III would kick off. Yeah, so we could all just go out to battle. Yeah, for the elites who are so generous to all of us, aren't they? Yeah, they spread the wealth lots. So just let us know where to sign up. We'll be there. No, I've had no training, but you know, I'm happy to die for the cause and that, and I'm sure it'll be good. All right, mate. Well, I'll let you go because you've probably got more people to sort of conscript, but I'm sure you'll get the numbers in, and I'll see you at the base, I suppose. All right, mate. Nice one. Cheers.
Brilliant. Because don't forget, it was only a couple of months ago we had that guy from where was it? Was he from the army? Who was it? Said, be prepared to send your sons and daughters. Well, good luck with that, mate.
And do you remember
no training? We'll just
when,
come out. Yeah, there you go. There's our girls for you.
And when that came up 6 or 7 months ago, do you remember the question? We floated this question out a few times along the lines of, I don't think the governments in the West realize how disenfranchised and disenchanted young people are. And when people mock the likes of Zach Palansky for the idea of countries without borders and that borders are a construct and that this is all quite philosophical, and actually, I think unless you try and get on board with that, the vast majority of young people aren't as interested in that border thing. Of course, borders are there now because we have a system that regulates, you need to control this, that, and the other. But that idea that you would just easily conscript the entire young population to fight for who? I don't think any of them really think they're fighting for freedom now, because they don't feel the freedom.
Oh no, we're fighting against the people that hate our freedoms, Mark.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Which freedoms are those? I mean, let's not forget, China hasn't started any wars for a very, very long time.
Years or something.
Whereas America, I think, hasn't stopped starting wars for the last 132 years.
Well, as Greg J. Stoker, ex-military, decorated multiple times, has said they're the biggest. What did he call them? What did he call him in that clip just there? Biggest terrorist group.
Yeah, 200 years.
Yeah.
So these are so we'll just finish up on this. So we've only just begun, says Viagra-laden Hegseth. He dropped 4 Viagra before announcing this. Iran strikes will surge, just like his forehead, dramatically, says Hegseth, as he criticizes Starmer.
Don't forget, he was a weekend, not even in the week, Fox presenter that Trump became obsessed with because he used to say nice things about Trump, and Trump liked him because he was good looking.
Yes.
And now he's in charge of war.
Yeah. I just
Minister of War, Secretary of War.
I just want to play. Does anyone know this Gerald Celent? Is it General Celent? Anyway, I just want to play this clip because what they talk about, this is in reference again to a lot of people still asking the question, who exactly fired the drone at the RAF base in Cyprus? It's going to be interesting whether we ever get to the bottom of that, because it wasn't Iran, but they're trying to claim it was Hezbollah.
Another 9/11 that's going to unite the people to support this war. It's going to happen in Europe. It's going to happen in America. And you're seeing all the stuff, the anti-Muslim, anti-Islamic stuff coming out. Get ready for the 9th crusade. That's what they're going to turn it into, and the people will buy it. Watch out for the false flag. That's my greatest concern. They did it before. They'll do it again. Little Georgie Bush was way down in the polls. The NASDAQ was down 80%, lost its value after the dot-com bust. 9/11 happened. 90% of the people swallowed the crap, spewing out of that little boy's mouth. We're going to get that guy Osama bin Laden dead or alive. Longest war in American history, the Afghan War.
Yeah,
Cost of
you're
that.
right about all of this, Gerald. I hope you're wrong about the false flags, but your predictions thus far, and I'm sorry to say, have been flawless.
So this is the account. That's Gerald Salent and the Judge. Just to say, you know, just don't buy into the headlines. Don't buy into this demonizing of a nation. I mean, Nadia's found a really good clip that I think we should play, which really humanizes yet again the Iranian people. You know, what really depressed me this morning is hearing the degree to which across the political spectrum, people are just settling into, because it's convenient and it's easier to think like this, that Iran is the problem that everyone's telling us they are, and that Iran is such a bad regime. And there is a fundamental issue here. However bad any other regime is in the world, who gives America and Israel the God-given right to get involved in it? And us, as so-called allies, should do exactly as Spain have done and just hold them at arm's length. Let them
until like, what's the plan? What's the objective? Because at the moment, it just seems like absolute chaos. How is it going to serve the world? How are things going to be made better? Even if you believe every single bit of propaganda about, you know, what's been going on in Iran, and even if you believe all of that, okay, so then what is this action? How is it going to improve the situation? I haven't heard one thing about how it's going to improve.
And
they don't know what's going to happen next. Exactly the same conversation we were having about Israel. What happens the next day? What after this?
There is no.
There's no.
David Lammy was somewhere today saying some piece of shit about something.
David Lammy.
I've got to. Is anyone else doing this? Can I just ask? I need to reach out for some kind of piece. Is anyone? When I see people like Shabana Mahmood, Keir Starmer yesterday when he was giving his automaton-like speech, David Lammy, I'm beginning to do this when I watch them. I zoom in so close on their eyes because I'm looking for the evidence that they don't believe really what they're saying.
How can they? Yeah, how can they believe it?
Absolutely. And if they don't, how much are they denying themselves?
Well, let us not forget, because it's all been brushed over, West Streeting texted Mandelson saying that they knew that Israel was committing war crimes. So just go back to any speeches that they were giving us, anything they were saying, and look into their faces, because that's what they look like when they lie. I know, because it was spoken about. That's just gone by the wayside, that whole thing with West Streeting. What's happening with that? If they knew they were committing war crimes, how come they continue to arm them?
I'm a huge fan of, and I think one of the richest genres of filmmaking is the horror film when done well. I don't mean shit like Scream 7 made by Zionist fuckwits. I mean really sophisticated horror. And when I look into the eyes of these politicians, I'm seeing some of the most sophisticated, layered, deeply burrowed horror stories ever. I find myself looking into their eyes, zooming in, macro close, trying to understand to what extent they're lying to themselves, because they're definitely lying to us. the degree to which they've been bought, that they're complicit, or the extent to which they've done something which I think is truly frightening about politicians if they do this, which must have happened, which must have happened to Shabana Mahmood, where they have fundamentally convinced themselves of something that is verging on fanaticism. There has to be some kind of delusion.
When you think about, what was that comedy series where it was behind the scenes?
The Thick of It.
The Thick of It.
Yeah.
And you know, when you would see them explaining to them why they needed to go out there and lie, because, you know, they would manipulate the politician, but you need to go out and say this, because if you don't, this will happen, this will happen, this will happen.
Yeah.
So it must be a continuous stream of justification. I'm going out there, I'm going to tell this complete utter lie, because otherwise this is going to happen. And this is going to. So that's how they justify themselves. That's how they're able to come out without their heads hanging low.
You've just hit the nail on the head.
Shame.
No, but that's a great question. I'd love to know, because I don't think are the aides around, say, Lammy, a pointless politician, utterly pointless, redundant. But so self-aggrandizing and loves himself. He luxuriates in his own voice when he was presenting on LBC. God. He just thinks everything he's got to say is so fucking original, and actually he has zero originality.
No, he really is.
But do his aides say to him, "You can't say that. They mustn't know that," or are him and all his aides literally in that process of, what's it called when people aren't lying but they believe?
Self-denial.
Fantasists. Have
Yeah.
they entered a fantasist realm? Because I think Shabana Mahmood must have done.
Well, with Shabana is a completely different beast that we have to talk about. But I think when they come out and they lie, they have justified it because the whispers in their ears, you know, the dangerous liaisons. It's like, yes, you have to say this because otherwise.
See, I don't know if they do. I think the days of the thick of it, where there will be a gaggle of aides going, don't fucking say A, B, C, make sure you say D, don't let them know about E. So the days, in a weird way, of Blair and Alistair Campbell, they had consciousness of what they were doing. We've entered a new era now where people have been groomed. I hate
brainwashed,
to say it.
cultish. Well, who was that general we were listening to the other day that said any country where there is American embassy, well, not embassy, what's it called when they have the military?
Consulate.
No, the
military base.
Yeah, American military base. You have the CIA in that country, and you are basically America. You are America. So it's that. And so we're just doing their bidding.
And there's a vital ingredient to be added into this, which is what I love about the Green Party and Zach Palansky. He doesn't have this. They're fucking stupid.
Yeah,
they are really fucking stupid. Do not think that because this is why all the men wear ties. It's why they wear ties. They wear ties to make it look like they know nothing. They are devoid of intellect, devoid of nuance. They have zero emotional intelligence. You are a better emotional journalist than most people you fucking work with. It's outrageous. It's outrageous the way they try and sort of hold us down with all the kind of armory of kind of civilization and administrative kind of, we know what we're talking about because we're sat here. Fuck off, you know diddly shit. That's why Zach Palansky is refreshing. It's why the Green Party's policies are the only ones one can step towards, because they have an authenticity in which they embrace contradiction, they embrace the complexity of things, and they're looking for answers. I just despise the way in which the system intimidates us with ties, with suits, with laws, with routines, with systems, with verbiage, with filibustering. It's shit. It's all shit.
Mark, never has it meant more to me the saying, money is the root of all evil. Follow the money. Always follow the money. It's fascinating, isn't it, how much money is made out of war?
Guffawing. Absolutely. They're all guffawing.
Collateral damage is humanity, right? And we're close to it being the greatest cost ever, aren't we?
Absolutely.
As the whole of humanity is threatened on the pursuit of the most evil thing on the planet, money.
And all those people with their hands on Trump's shoulders, all their ties. I mean,
you've seen the amount of money
they
that's
are
donated
monsters.
to reform.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just petrifying.
Yeah, Lamia Safa, they are monsters, these people. They wear suits to make them look normal. It's disgusting. Yeah. It's like every time Netanyahu flobbles onto a camera with his flobble head and the suit is being squeezed over an uncontrollable orb of evil. Flabby, flatulent, dead, corpse-like evil in his fits himself into it to try and present to the world some kind of administrative civilization. As Greg J. Stoker says, our governments are part of the most uncivilized age. The only civilized politician I can see out there at the moment is Zach Palansky. It's the only one. He's the only one. Forget Labour, forget them. Zelensky doesn't wear a suit, but he's a fucking Zionist who's sending drones over to America to help in the war. Zelensky can do one for me. I'm sorry. Absolutely do one. We're turning to Zelensky. What a joke. What an absolute joke. Sorry. I'm going to have a heart attack. They're going to kill all people who have any kind of opposition to them through hernias, coronaries, high blood pressure. I feel I'm going to die now.
People asking if my parents are coming back. They are booked on a flight tomorrow out of Jordan. We're just like praying every minute that flights aren't. I mean, it's tricky. Flights are being cancelled out of Jordan, but hopefully we will have them back here because we've got a lunch plan for them on Sunday.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It'd be lovely to see them. Should we remind ourselves of the religious woman one more time? Yeah.
These fucking people. Shit I've ever seen. I don't know what these people are doing. And I was raised Southern Baptist. I don't know if they are trying to pray to try to help this man and invoke in Jesus' name. And if so, that's rude. Don't do that to Jesus. Or if this is some kind of weird exorcism. And if that's the case, it makes more sense. But there's not nearly enough of you motherfuckers. Y'all. These fucking people.
I adore her. Hey, motherfuckers. There's just something just so fantastic about that accent, isn't there?
Before we go to Shabana Mahmood, I just want to do this because this actually speaks into her dehumanizing of asylum seekers and refugees. Her dehumanizing of asylum seekers and refugees. And as Zara Sultana said yesterday, Shabana Mahmood's move on asylum is the definition of pulling up the drawbridge or pulling up the rope ladder. Once you're here.
But the one I wish I didn't have to leave so soon. The people who told me not to visit are the ones that have never met the real you. On the news we just see the scary men, not the ones that dance in the park and turn twirling into a competitive sport, or the fathers that love their sons more than a thumbs up in the family group chat. We just see women in hijab. We don't see the fighters, the cyclists, or the generation of mothers teaching their daughters to demand more. Ireland put you on the do not travel list. Maybe so we don't see that a country under 50 years of sanctions has an incredible metro, and all we have for our GDP per capita leading economy is a mini train that stops at red lights. You've shown me that what we see on the news is a low-light reel of government decisions. It's not a reflection on the beauty of the land and people. You're a country of people that stop to give you tea, refill your bottles with ice water on the move, and empty their trees to fill your bags with fruit. Where the entrance to every house lets you know how many smiling faces to expect inside, and where you don't have to put the kettle on because it's always ready to go. I learned to trust your people. When someone says to follow them, you do, because sometimes you end up getting a tour of their workshop, and other times you end up sleeping in their hookah bar. When they heard I was going to Afghanistan, they gave me free boxing lessons so I'd be ready to fight off the Taliban. Stopping for a moment to record the camels results in a meet and greet with the town's children, or the 10th selfie you've been in that day. Some nights I spent in the city, others were camping halfway up the tallest mountain in the Middle East, eating proper baked beans for the first time in months and waking up to shepherds at 5 a.m. But I didn't have to cross the mountains alone. Sometimes with trucks, sometimes tractors, and sometimes even mopeds, we crossed the country together. Your weather was everything from hailstorms to heat strokes, but I wore trousers through it all to respect your rules about covering up. Your roads are a bowling alley with the bumpers down, and I just hoped I didn't become the pins. But you blessed every traffic jam I had to squeeze through, and your trucks were busy doubling it and giving it to the next person. Your signs speak in SpongeBob meme text. Experiment with serifed speed signs and optimistically suggest there'll be a tree next to the picnic bench in the middle of the desert. My Garmin didn't understand your language, and neither did I, but some translated conversation showed me how creative and resilient your people are. Foreign brands are cut off, so you make your own Coke, Fanta, KFC and Heinz ketchup, and there's nothing copyright laws are going to do to stop it. The internet is locked down, but a few SIM card and VPN tricks later and everyone's back online like nothing ever happened. It was far from touristy, but you never know when you'll meet an Irish lad in a supermarket dungeon toilet or a Korean guy walking home from Istanbul. To be honest though, it's the strongest sense of unfairness I felt so far. That it only took a few weeks and a trip to the embassy for me to get a visa, but your people could spend a lifetime trying and failing to get out. Where I become a multi-millionaire overnight, but some of the smartest and hardest working people I've ever seen make a few euro a day. I hope the optimism they have for the future is correct, and it won't be long until everything improves. Until then, thank you for the last month, keep pushing for more, and I can't wait to meet again.
The account there, sorry, the account there is _blockstore, _blockstore. And parking the Iranian regime to the side, what he's talking about there is the Iranian people that Israel and America are currently bombing to within an inch of their lives. Our media is not interested in humanizing anyone from any other culture of color. We have humanized the Ukrainians because they're white Europeans with fascist wings to the Ukrainian army, but we can't do it for anyone of color. Ukraine was responsible for some of the most egregious human rights violations prior to the war. So before we all get on board with Zelensky, just remember that. We can only do it for whites.
And think about why he's put us a saint. Do you know what makes me so sad is that it shows you that lovely man that made that lovely video. That's how the world could be. Precisely. With that attitude to other human beings. And it's just the powers that be don't want that. They don't want that understanding. They don't want that humanity between humans. Doesn't serve them. Doesn't serve globalization. Doesn't serve anything. So.
And I go back to saying, a number of the people he's talking about there and the lives that they lead and the lack of money and the inability to get visas, all a consequence of the current regime in Iran. This is not a complicated, contradictory thought. If we're talking about people, we're talking about people. The least qualified people to look after the Iranians' futures are the Americans and most specifically the Israelis. They are the least appropriate.
Israel, was it yesterday, the day before, sprayed the crops. I think it's Lebanon. Everyone can fact check me. I don't give a shit. Yeah. It was one of those things. I can't remember the exact. But I was just so struck with this absolutely noxious, weed killer, whatever it is.
It's so evil.
And
it's just like, what they're doing is so evil.
Earth? What about what you would do? It's like all the bombs that have been dropped. And we say this all the time in Gaza. Okay, Israel, Netanyahu, you want it all, right? You want it all. You're never going to be satisfied. Your 40-year dream is in process now with Iran. What are you going to do with these devastated lands, poisoned with everything that you've dropped on them? What? Again, what's the fucking plan? The thousands of bodies that are just going to be turned over into the earth in Gaza, and then, hotels are going to be built on top of them. How many bodies are you going to have in Iran? How many are we going to, over 90 million? How many of people like that will just be turned over in the earth? It won't be buried, just be turned over. And then more altars to worship, more altars to money and greed and evil put up. What will it be? What have we got in Gaza? What's it called? What was it that Trump called it? The golden, whatever it was. What was it?
The Gaza Riviera.
Gaza Riviera. What are we? I'm waiting for we haven't got the word yet, because we're still in epic fury, aren't they?
Yeah, we're in epic fury.
What's the Because though we keep asking for the day after, they just, we don't know, we had a guy, but he died. But what's the plan with Iran then? What's the money making?
Yeah, the reason they won't tell us the plan is because actually the plan can't be got away with the vast majority of the population. If they were to say, we're going to carve up Iran, exploit its oil reserves and its gas, and keep it in
because they're not
keep it in a
the world isn't
by being
brainwashed
chaotic.
enough like they were about every Palestinian is a raging terrorist, even a newborn baby, even a 2-year-old baby. That they haven't done enough work on that, so that people say, just toss them away.
It's and all of this kind of beautiful comments coming in. Can I just read a few, please? Iran is strong and sufficient, says Art with Rachel Kashani, because of the UN. It's because of the UN sanctions. I've gone yearly since 2012. My last trip was last October to take my terminally ill friend home to family. He was from Com. A lot of people saying it's the sanctions that have brought that make impact most readily on everyday Iranians' lives. People, wildlife gardener Tracy, people just want to live their short lives, but white, grey-haired old men in suits with ties have no morals due to the love of power and wealth.
And they have no regard, to love and power of humanity. They just have no regard for it whatsoever.
Janine 1868, we have to come together and do something about this evil. They are done.
Join the Green Party.
Join the Green Party. I was in a Sainsbury's yesterday, Hannah, buying things for Sahur. I bought quite a few things, and a lady in the queue said to me, "You are stocking up, are you? You lot are to blame for inflation. Your lot, God Almighty." Reese, I wanted to play. Where's your comment gone? Sorry, so Steve Masters, RAF friend. I was asked, hi Steve, I was asked at an election if all Muslims were terrorists by an evangelical Christian, and my answer was that 99% of people are just the same as us and only want to provide for their families. Steve has fought for and on behalf of the Marsh Arabs against Saddam.
Most people want to get on with their neighbours and have a nice life and share nice food with their friends and family and watch their children grow up and run in the sun and go to school and get educated. That's what most, and then have grandkids. That is what the majority of the world want. The majority of the world do not want to kill other people, but to destroy other people's freedoms.
It's America and Israel.
How free do you feel? Do you feel free?
No,
I don't
America
feel free.
and Israel do. Reese, we are always wrestling between who we think we are, who the world think we are, and how it sees us, and ultimately who we really are, and the powers that be really know how to manipulate those strands.
Right.
One other comment before we move to Shabana. As my granny always says, James Flanagan, you can feed the hungry, but you can't feed the greedy.
Oh, I love that saying.
That. James Flanagan's gran
needs to
be turned into a saint. Saint James Flanagan's nan. That's what we call her.
What was it? You can
feed the hungry, but you cannot feed the greedy. Love it. Right, apologies, guys. We're going to hear from this woman. Shabana Mahmood announced her asylum policies yesterday.
Response that we should turn to the path proposed by the Greens, that we should create a world without borders, that nation states are social constructs, and that patriotism is a dirty word. To some, these might seem like harmless student politics, but the danger and the possible damage is real. A party leader who seeks the highest office in the land should not be on the beaches of France helping migrants onto small boats, encouraging them to make a perilous crossing. And what he did personally, his policies would do many times over.
So she's taken to task Zach Palansky.
They really must be scared of him. They're mentioning him in everything they do.
Yeah, I think Zach,
this is good.
Zach is
this
in
is
there.
Good news.
Every waking thought.
Yeah, he's living rent free. Well done, Zach.
Yeah,
well done.
You are in their worst nightmares every night.
Yeah.
And she's gone on to Instagram, and I just want to again, let's media studies lecturer cap on for a moment. Let's analyze this post that Shabana Mahmood has done. And one of the simple things that she's got someone to do, perhaps asked or someone's thought to do, is let's crush the blacks, let's up the contrast, and let's find him looking at his most disagreeable. So I can't even. He looks like he's got a scar on his forehead. Look at that. Look at the.
Tell them the story about your friend that used to work at the.
Oh yeah, so a friend of mine used to work at Rex Features, and their mission was always
explain what they are.
Rex Features is a photo library like Getty, where paparazzi would take photos, they'd send them in, and then they charge you for using them.
So TV, newspapers, magazines, that's where they would get their photos.
He was very,
he
was very sweet. He was like, when me and Nadia were first together, he said, I'm really sorry, but the press are wanting a photo of you and Nads. He's like, can I? Go on.
And didn't they want something not looking great?
They said, you don't have anything if you're looking shit. I just thought maybe it would be nice if you had a shit photo of the two of you. You could be in control of it. We did, as it happened, have one that wasn't good. I said, is this all right? He said, yeah, that looks like someone else might have taken it. So
but literally they will phone up and they will say things
they wanted to be looking like a recovering addict.
That was it. They wanted him looking like, have you got any photos where you look like a recovering addict? Right. So have you got any, not about him, but it might be, have you got any photos where this person might look like a real perv? Right. Have you got any photos where this person could look like he's a bit of a thief? Yeah. Have you got any photos where this woman could look like she's a bit loose? And so, if you get your camera and you just do, how many different ways you could look, right? So that photo is so doctored.
Yeah.
Look at him.
But look at this one. Look,
Is that
look at
his
that.
arm?
That's his arm. But look, they're trying to show him looking angry.
Oh my God. No, you know what they do? They've darkened him a lot.
They've darkened him a
Yeah,
lot.
there he looks Arabic.
Yeah, and they're trying to, it's so obvious. This is Shabana Mahmood.
He looks a bit like one of my cousins.
I was going to
actually,
say, I thought
in that
he was a
second one.
cousin.
Zach.
It was Nabil.
Zach.
Yeah, welcome.
Come.
But it's astonishing. Palansky calls for the most expensive and expansive migration policy anywhere in the world. And we're going to read from his letter in a moment. He wrote
we
the
love
most
you, Zach.
brilliant letter to her.
French kiss.
What she's calling him out for is how dare he go to the beaches in Calais to understand, to meet, to communicate with, to hear from, to liaise with those people for whom asylum-seeking refugee status is their life.
Don't see them as humans. Remember, you've just got to see them as scum that are coming here to steal your freedoms. 0.9% of our population are illegal immigrants. Just remember that, because they'd have you think that it's 50%.
Yeah, absolutely. So I just want to show you, this is the letter.
Oh, it's so good.
This is the letter from Zach Palansky.
He's
and I'm just going to read
it's
from
so
my phone.
classy.
It's all right, I can find it. But yeah, this is, so he says, "Dear Shabana, I noticed today that you referred to me in your speech on immigration at the IPPR think tank. You said, a party leader should not be on the beaches of France encouraging people to make a perilous crossing on small boats. I suppose I shouldn't be surprised, especially after the hateful Labour campaign in Gorton and Denton, but this is just the latest in a string of lies peddled by a discredited government who intentionally fan the flames of racism and division. When I went to Calais, I was not there to encourage people to travel to the UK. I was there to see at firsthand the suffering your government and successive governments have done in demonizing migrants in a pathetic bid to pander to the base instincts of reform and the flawed strategy of Morgan McSweeney." I'm then going to just abridge, but you can go to Zach's Instagram for the full post. This is great. What an absolute slam dunk this is. "It reminded me," his visit, "of a young MP who in October 2015 spent 3 days in Lesbos helping migrants fleeing war-torn Syria. This young MP, she, posted videos on X and talked about handing out water and croissant to refugees and food parcels. When she returned to the UK, she wrote a very moving piece in the New Statesman. She said, quote, 'We have to work with our European partners and create new safe and legal routes for refugees to get to Europe. We cannot abandon them to their fate, left as prey for smugglers whilst risking death on the seas.' She said, 'Maybe we can make ourselves feel better by saying no one is making them get on the boats.' And again, the Home Secretary is not entirely wrong when she says that we have to be mindful of push and pull factors, but she does again entirely miss the point, because the push factor is either death or the slow torture of a temporary life in a camp which amounts to no kind of life at all. This person, this young MP, was of course you, Shabana Mahmood. And I agree with every line you said. So maybe have a word with the younger Shabana. She seemed like a really decent person. And as Gorton and Denton proved, hope beats hate."
And
Slam dunk!
And most people want to get on with their neighbours. So
Drop.
Mark and I were discussing this morning, and we was, did I call you Mike?
Yeah, that's all right. I don't
Did
mind.
I just call him Mike?
I said mic drop.
Oh, and I said Mark. Mark and I were discussing this morning. We were trying to work out which one was the real Shabana.
Yes.
Because we were saying it's so petrifying that a person can go from that to that automaton, evil-looking being.
What has happened to
there?
her?
So where is she grifting?
Yes.
Was she grifting on the back of refugees and the Palestinians, because she's gone on the Palestinian March to be a real socialist and to be taken on as somebody that cared about other human beings?
Brilliant.
And now is she grifting to become, I don't know, the leader of the Reform Party or the Tories? Or has she been compromised in some way from who she was before to who she is now? Discuss.
Well,
what are your feelings?
Well, can I just say on that, you've asked 3 really important questions.
Well,
hang on.
I have done an early workout this morning, so maybe my brain is firing on all cylinders.
I think an early workout suits Miss Sawalha. Those 3 questions are the 3 questions any journalist with any nous would prioritize as the 3 questions to ask her in quick succession before you get on to the rights and wrongs of paying £40,000 to asylum seekers to fuck off, of removing the entitlement of any asylum seeker to ever feel permanently settled, forever resurrecting the spectre and the sword of Damocles coming down.
The cruelty of that.
That is so cruel. That's not asylum. You don't have an asylum seeker if anyone who gets asylum doesn't get asylum. You don't have a.
And Mark, if the country ever improves, you have to go straight back. So nobody can build a life.
And what's the definition of improvement? Improved along what lines?
Would that be the same for all the Ukrainians then? Because they've all got asylum.
That's a good question.
Without any checks or balances.
It's not to say, and this is one of the mistakes that Labour and Reform keep trying to. This isn't to say that there need to be really difficult questions asked about how we go about all of this. But the one thing that I know that the Greens are about is having a humanitarian and humane and humanistic approach to whatever the treatment is. And it might mean that difficult decisions are made. What those difficult decisions might be is debatable and negotiable, but you just don't go about it in this clear red meat thrown at Reform voters.
They're panic stricken. Maybe she's panic stricken by him being there because she's actually been there and she knows the truth of it. And going back to your previous question is like, how do they come out and say this stuff? They just convince themselves they're fantasists. And it's like, don't puncture that. Don't puncture that and remind me that I've been there and I've seen what hell on earth that is. And I know that we have to be responsible in some way and we have to take actions. You know, so it's like, I want politicians that communicate with people. How are we ever going to progress? No government has managed to do anything about this situation except use it as a breeding ground for hate and division.
And let me really reiterate this, guys.
Doing something different.
It is not an irrelevant or inappropriate question to ask, especially of Shabana Mahmood. Her U-turn is so complete, it's so extreme,
so weird,
it's so dramatic that it speaks to something that's very wrong at the heart of her as a politician. And she's untrustworthy, she's unreliable, she's either, as you rightly say, Nadia, she's either grifting one way, grifting the other, or just grifting entirely for self-interest.
They're all calling Zach a grifter because he happens to not believe in genocide. They tried to make out the whole Gorton and Denton was just for one reason only. The win was because he grifted on a genocide, not because they can't understand that actually has a moral code about it. It has a sense of decency. A Jewish man brought up in a Zionist household said, hang on a fucking minute. No way.
Yeah.
That's what he said.
And what the government, Reform, Labour and everyone doesn't really accept is that the vast majority of humanistic people under the age of 50, unfortunately, though there are obviously some above, us included, look at Gaza and go, nah, I don't want to be part of that system. I don't want to be part of a system that can legitimize the genocide of an entire people and the demonization of an entire culture. That's not a radical thought. And I do hope, part of me kind of, sincerely hopes that actually Reform have just gone a little bit too far here. The wheels are coming off Trump's America, which is why he's becoming more and more, declaring wars, more and more kind of, restrictive and prescriptive. The fall of the West is happening. The fall of America is happening. And these are the death throes. It just happens to be that they're going to kill infinitely more people in Iran.
Maybe all of us.
Yeah, and possibly all of us. So yeah, but do not get me started on fucking Zelensky. He's had it for me. I've had it with that. I'm now beginning to see such propaganda in the way we've all been played around that. And we have talked a lot actually about the origin story of that.
And just quickly on the 40,000, are we going to do that tomorrow?
40,000. Oh, no, well, yeah, absolutely. No, that her policy of paying 40,000 to families, to a maximum of 40,000.
And they've got like 5 minutes to decide.
They've got 7 days.
And then they get thrown out.
150 families have been approached yesterday, I think, with 7 days to decide. So no time for legal representation, no time to consider, no time to prepare. And they're being offered £40,000. Interestingly, some years ago, the British Nationalist Party offered 30,000 to repatriate people. This is the idea. Pay for them to leave. Now, there are some issues with this. The rationale is that it's cheaper.
Oh, it's 10,000 per person, 40,000
40K, yeah, 10K
right, I see 10,000.
But you can reach a maximum of 40K. Of course, the rationale is this, that actually you hold them in the country, it's going to cost you hundreds of thousands across time. Yeah. But if you put 40,000 into the pockets of a family of 4 heading back across wherever to wherever, which is unpredictable. They are literally a walking
target,
a walking purse or wallet for whoever illegally transported them there to take advantage of, exploit, to what's it called, racketeer. You know, they could be kidnapped, they could be taken. The money will be taken from them.
I just don't understand it. I've got to look more into it. I haven't had time to have a proper think about the outrageousness of it all.
Here's another way of offsetting the cost of housing, and you're looking at a maximum. Hang on, you're looking at a maximum of, I think it's 150,000 asylum seekers coming in this year, and backed up asylum claims in total 150,000. If you're going to pay 40,000 to each of them to go because it's cheaper than housing them, here's another way of doing it so that it can be more humane again. Is why not let them work and pay in taxes and national insurance into the system?
And before anybody says they're stealing our jobs, there are so many jobs that need to be filled.
Yeah.
That's the point.
Let them work.
We need them.
They're not allowed. If you're seeking asylum, you're not allowed to work. So
well, this is what's so insane. You've got all kinds of people with all kinds of skills that we need, and we won't let them work. And then we beat them over the head for the fact that they can't afford to look after themselves.
She's also committed a flat ban on a couple of 4 or 5 countries. I think Afghanistan's one of them.
A flat ban on Afghanistan.
On visas.
After all the mess that we made in Afghanistan. And the state of what life is like for women in Afghanistan. It's like America sending all those people back to Afghanistan.
Absolutely.
You made that mess. We made that fucking mess.
But remember, if you're Ukrainian, it's okay.
It's okay. Just come over. There's no checks or balances. Actually, you can move into everybody's houses.
Yeah, come into our houses. We'll make space. Zelensky crying yesterday over America using up the stockpiles of weapons for him. Wow. They expect the world to empathize with Ukraine as they are somehow superior compared to other lives. Interesting, that, isn't it? Interesting, that. White Europeans. The whole world.
There's no white European has ever done anything wrong.
The whole world has been hijacked by fascists. It's as simple as that. Fascists. And whether you like it or not, whether Putin went about it in the wrong way or the right way, and you have to get involved with the actual history of the agreement between Russia and the agreement between America and NATO.
NATO shoved and shoved and shoved.
And when Putin originally said there's fascism in Ukraine, he was actually accurate. Just Google fascist regiments of the Ukrainian army and see what comes up. Fascist as in Nazi fascist. Just pump it in. Just after this, that's your homework. Look at it. It's interesting. All right, guys. Anything else do you want to say?
No, except thank you for being with us.
Yes. Have we got a funny to end on?
Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button if you've got anything from this time with us. And that was the poem. And yeah, we may be doing a live of some sort later. Yeah. So make sure you hit the notification bell, because that's the only way that you'll know that we're going live.
And here's just a funny to end with.
Yeah, a little funny, tiny funny.
What have you got up at the weekend? Anything exciting?
Oh, my niece's surprise birthday party.
Oh, that's lovely.
Yeah, so that'll be nice.
But not a surprise if she's watching this.
Oh, goodness me, I've spoiled.
Have a good weekend. Bye-bye.